Jamaica, Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. The sun is shining bright and the moon and the stars on the mountain shining oh so bright. I can recall all the fun that I had in Jamaica, Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. I can recall all the times that I had in Jamaica, Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Oh, I love it more than any other place. No, no, no. Oh, I love it more than any other place in this world. Now, I can recall all the fun times I had in Jamaica, Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. I can recall all the times that I had in Jamaica, Jamaica, sweet, sweet Jamaica, sweet, sweet Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Now where the reggae comes from.
Yeah, good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing. This amazing Thursday afternoon from the 254. It's exactly 36 minutes past the top of the hour. And of course, apologies that I am late. It's not my fault, though. Our internet, our laptop was misbehaving, but we are back and, of course, on. And, of course, welcome to another episode of the Pan African Bliss. My name is Joby. To those who are here for the first time,
It probably was messed up because you wanted to play Sweet Jamaica.
Of course, come on, it's on a Thursday, and that's what I'm gonna be playing tonight. So ensure you download the app on the Google Play Store. That's where you can find us for you to be able to jam with me. But of course, you can pull up or request your request like Keith does, John Mosquito, and the rest. But of course, Karibuni Sarah today. Today we're gonna be talking about Africa versus the global power structures. And without wasting much more of the time, I just wanna get straight to the conversation and what is trending. We're gonna be discussing about a little bit of update on the weather, which is expected today. They say today it's going to be raining super hard, so we should be expecting landslide and much more of floods. We've not seen Ruto talking about any solution, neither the governor, about the solution they're going to be giving Kenyans when it comes to the flood. What they're doing is actually throwing abuses left, right, and center, making the Kenyan politics look like just a mediocrity. So we're going to start with that, literally talk about a little bit of what is happening in Burkina Faso. We also have in Republic of Congo, where we have an 82-year-old, that is Denis Sassou, who had actually ruled the Republic of Congo, that is between 1979 to 1992, and is back again as the president of the Republic of Congo at the age of 82. And talk about the bleaching. It really looks really bad. It's crazy. It really looks super bad. And then we're going to talk about what is happening.
That's how you know their minds are fucked up. So the colonized, see these old leaders are colonized in the head. They're anti-African. That's why they're also the psychopath. They get the worst, the psychopathic, but they're also anti-African. That's why they're there.
Yeah, but just a quick update on what is happening or expected to happen today. That was as of yesterday and today. They're saying that heavy rains are expected across Kenya from March 18th to 24 with the flood and landslide risk. So no solution.
Watch out.
Yeah, we need to watch out, climb on trees. That's what they always tell us, right?
Climb on trees?
I mean,
nah, nobody told you that. Get out of here.
They
For
did.
real?
Come on. Yeah, I reported on that. Come on.
This is crazy talk.
Yeah, they said we need to climb on trees, so that we can escape the flood. That is how we need to help ourselves. If they just told Kenyans to use their own money, to come back home from all this war Iran and these other countries are having, what do you expect them to do when it comes to floods? They've already told you take your backward behaviors to these Gulf countries or Arabic countries. That's why you're mistreated and beaten and killed. So the same country expected to save you from floods. I mean, sound Very, 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 very like a joke. But anyway, yeah, so you're gonna be seeing I'm gonna be giving, of course, much more report on what is expected. Yesterday it was super, super cloudy. I expected rain like crazy, but today it's a little bit chill. So we're gonna see how it's going. Keith, how is the weather on your end? Are you still on the snow or you're out of the cold now today?
Oh no, no, no. It's still cold. I'm going back up here. It's still got snow going on. So yeah, still the same thing. So
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. We also have some news. I'd say it's quite positive, but also looking at it on a economical way, how they're going to solve this. I don't know. So we have Nairobi, which has introduced menstrual leave as Kenyan explores wider policy, and they're saying that today in Africa, March 18th. Let me see that the one for Kenya. Uh-huh. I don't think they wrote an article about it. Yeah, but they're saying that they're going to be giving menstrual leaves for Kenyan women. I feel like it's a good move, but at the same time, I feel like it stops a lot if all of us we go on a leave, like all of us the same month. I feel like that really stops a lot economically. So there could be other, maybe I feel like the safer ways of ensuring that women do not skip work or to calm the period cramps which are painful, which sometimes you can't handle at work. I do understand that. Personally, I go through that most of the time. And I feel like these are the pads I was talking about, the organic pads, like the ones I was being taught on the session I went. These people were telling us the chemical, not the chemicals, but the organic supplements they are using to make these pads literally help you. They have like a magnetic, I can't remember the name, but they had like a magnetic something that literally helps you and reduces the pain cramps. You don't have to rely on painkillers because painkillers also, if you rely on them, they're not really good. You become super dependent on them. That is something I've also had to learn. Like sometimes if I'm in a pain that I can handle, I'm not gonna take painkillers. But if it's too much, I have to take the painkillers. But yeah, shout out to the 254. I feel like another country that did this was, I think, China. If not China, there's a country outside Africa that did the same, had the same policy. I don't know
mm.
in America if it's there's something like that, but I don't think so. Is there menstrual leaves in America?
But what? The what in America, Joey?
Menstrual leaves.
Mainstream what? Say it again. Eng-
Menstrual leaves. Menstrual
oh,
leaves.
minstrel English, Joby.
Oh,
English, not your ebonics.
okay.
English,
My
Joby.
bad. My bad.
English. Minstrel leave. Okay.
Period.
Now,
Period.
yeah, but it said period. But I see you being more politically correct, more trying to clean it up. I got you. Sounds better to say minstrel than period. Um,
Yeah.
not really. Sadly enough, not really. It depends on the company. Since America's brutal. Since
Mm.
America's brutal. You don't really get no leave because you go on your periods. It depends on
Mm.
the. It depends on the.
The
It
company.
depends on the company. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, go ahead. You see, yeah, yeah, yeah. It depends on the company with, but I've never heard nobody been able to get out because of periods. You know, America's brutal like that.
That's what's up. So we're looking forward to see it literally because Kenya, I believe also it's not going to apply for every Kenyan. Of course, it depends on the company. So probably government companies, I'm not sure, depends on the company, just like you said. But we have more news coming from Burkina Faso. We have last time we checked literally the development or the improvement on infrastructure that Burkina Faso is doing, and especially in terms of roads. We saw that they were building literally roads from not only just a short distance but long distance, and beautiful roads. This is not me taking billions of money like Ruto and the rest, literally. And we launched some muddy projects or some muddy roads. It's super, super crazy. So there's a video that is circulating online of the current amazing job Ibrahim Traore has employed the youth. This is not just him doing, but giving the youth the opportunity to use their skills, explore their skills, and doing it this themselves. There's massive change, and I really, really love this. This is the next Dubai, literally. If Ibrahim Traore is left alone, I do believe Burkina Faso is the next Dubai because the development and the way is so serious on ensuring everything works in his country is super, super amazing. But let me share the video with you guys to see. Let me see if I
age and her limited means, but with a heart full of patriotism, she sacrificed 2 bags of cement from her own savings. Her son helped her load them into the car. You can see it right here. And then she explained.
Okay, let me restart it again.
Just take a look at this video of Burkina Faso.
The roads Ibrahim Traoré is building every single year are longer, far longer, than everything the French managed to build in 50 years in Burkina Faso. The results speak for themselves. Smooth, wide, modern roads. Highways that look just like what you'd expect in fully developed nations. But here's the part that truly blows people away. All of this is being built without the outrageous costs that usually come with foreign contractors across Africa. Contracts that often fail to deliver the results people expected. Instead, everything you're seeing in Burkina Faso is being built by Burkinabe themselves. From the president personally operating this massive road machine, to ordinary citizens manufacturing pavement blocks used for the roads. Even young children are participating, and the soldiers are out there too.
And I love the fact that the children are participating, because we keep on talking about how, again, if you look at China, I'm going to use China as an example, how the kids, their system of school is set up, like literally everything, majority of the things they're studying is actually practical. You're being shown practically what to do. You know, I've had literally recently so many adults, people older than me, asking, how is it that we're not taught these things? People are starting to question our system of education, because you're now learning as an adult things you should have learned when you are young. You should have grown up with these skills, but now you have to go do either more research or pay someone, and then you can't figure out actually something that you can simply do yourself. And then you're like, why aren't we taught these things from?
You know why? You know why?
Exactly. So I love the fact that he's actually including children. Yeah, he's including children for them to experience and participate on building of a nation.
Adding their contribution. Even the mothers of the country haven't been left behind. Just watch this woman pushing a wheelbarrow filled with sand, part of her support for the national effort.
Le Burkina Faso, c'est nous. Aujourd'hui, c'est à nous de le construire.
Pour notre pays, je m'engage à aider ma patrie.
Can't build modern roads without cement. This elderly woman, well into her 80s, heard about her country's mission to rebuild itself on television, and she refused to just sit and watch. Despite her age and her limited means, but with a heart full of patriotism, she sacrificed 2 bags of cement from her own savings. Her son helped her load them into the car. You can see it right here. And then she explains it in her own words.
I liked the initiative. That's why I made my contribution. I'm really happy to be here and to contribute. For those who haven't yet made their contribution, they should hurry and come give.
My friends, this spirit, this level of citizens building their own nation with their own hands, is something incredibly rare in the world.
Exactly. That's the pride you feel when you know you got corrupt government, your government cares about you, so you're doing it to your benefit. That's when you know, it's not nobody, just everybody at the top stealing all the damn money. Money's actually going to the people, which the system that these people built, they don't want that, because it shows that all their money, the money must go back up to the top, to the cats with the hats, and then the white people. So they don't want that system. You especially in Africa, because you're destroying the whole system, but you're supposed to be poor back when it's stupid. Burkina Faso is now giving free education. That's what you're supposed to do. Especially in Africa. If you're already a poor country, you ain't poor because you're poor because everybody's stealing your resources. So you're supposed to, as a poor country, first thing you want to do is make sure education is free. That'd be much thing you would budget. Because your children, giving them a good education is going to pull your country out of damn poverty. But yeah, will they be harder to rule? Of course they will, because you have a nation of critical thinkers. So you being corrupt and systems not working, they're not going to go for it, because you got an educated populace. The white man don't want that, and the bootlick puppets don't want it. That's why you see nobody saying, okay, let's, like Ibram said, our educational system is terrible. We got to change it. We got to make it free. Common sense. Common sense. That's what you do. You don't say, you got people with no jobs paying for damn school. That don't make any sense. Everybody knows Africa doesn't have jobs. Not Kenya, Africa. How the fuck am I paying for school? They don't, because most of them don't go to school because they can't afford the school fees. So you get a population of ignorance. That's why you got goons and all this other crazy shit now. People can just say crazy shit on TV with them interviews last week with the Kenyan and the Nigerian. Just say crazy shit because there's no accountability because they know most of the population are ignorant. So that benefits them. They don't want to educate you. So when they get talking about that fake education, don't believe it, then why isn't it free? The government, that's called the commons. In life, the government's supposed to take care of something like commons called water, education, health, and another thing. But things are called the commons. That means everybody's supposed to be able to benefit from. They call the common needs that men and women need. So it's called the commons. But go ahead, Joby.
Today. This is genuine nation building carried out by the people themselves, showing the deep love they have for their country and for the leader guiding them.
Now, just in case you don't know, for context sake, Burkina Faso is an African country and they've been underdeveloped for the last 50 years. And as around 2022,
Exactly. Been undeveloped not for 50, for the last 60 years since they got that fake independent. All Africa's been underdeveloped on purpose. Always some wicked, evil shit. Been underdeveloped on purpose.
Underdeveloped and the same system of having old leaders. That shit doesn't make sense. Because okay,
it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. You're trying to keep a country messed up. Look at that old dude, Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is one of the biggest oil producers in Africa and in the world. So how is everybody poor? Huh? Because they know. And the sad thing about African people, your personality, your demeanor, you're loving and kind people. People gonna say you're cowards, but I'm gonna say you're not cowards. I'm saying you're loving kindness. You don't act. That's why it was such a big deal when you see the Kenyans do that. You don't act. You don't do that. Can stay in poverty and don't do nothing about it. You can live in kibetas and horrible conditions and just look crazy. Most of the world is going to revolt. They're going to uprise and overthrow the government. So, like all these countries with all the theft is going crazy. At least in Kenya, there's been a little bit of development. A lot of these other African countries, there's none. They don't got no internet. Even if they get a smartphone, they can't use it. No internet, right? So there's been nothing but just out the wall stealing. Well, especially the countries that the French colonized. That stealing has been crazy. That's why the French are now on the Kenyan shores because the stealing of the French are just crazy.
Mm-hmm. The French,
go ahead, Jimmy.
All of them. I'm
not gonna go.
To show why we're still underdeveloped.
Now he's leading the country to greatness. And one thing he has just
so let me share this video. This is actually a video of again how the Israel acquired the 520 acres. Again, this was not until a researcher went and did his own research. Literally, Kenyans didn't know about this. We're talking about deals being signed behind our back, while our nations are being given totally away to people who we can see their actions in other countries. Yet we're being welcoming, like Keith is saying, we have I don't know, the Foruto is stupidity more than even.
Africans have a kindness factor that people take advantage of. So they come. That's why the Jewish guys, they're buying up all the land. They're supposed to hate. See, they tell African people outside Africa, oh, we hate Africa. But when you go to Africa, where you find all these white people stealing land and shit. That's what surprised me when I first went. I said, all these white people here. They told me go back to Africa when I was a kid in California, right? You nigga, you go back to Africa. They had me think, oh, Africa's a jungle. I said, nah, man, I don't want to be in no damn jungle. So I ain't never seen a jungle since. So like what I told everybody when I was doing them trips, right? And I'd be on the plane all the time. I go to the plane. Why are you going to Africa? What? Why are you going? Ain't you? What you talking about? Why the hell I'm going?
Your stuff dead. Well, you gonna show me the way in?
Yeah.
You gonna show me the way?
Yeah. So go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
real estate project in Kenya.
We want people who come to live with us and live our dream together with us.
And people,
you're not living with people in Palestine, you're bombing people, chasing away from their land. I mean, again, critical thinking, and we need to be very outraged. But again, we have a group of entertainers who had the audacity to go to Israel. I don't know if this is what pushed this, literally that trip of this bunch of Christian singers who went to Israel and they were criticized and called out by Kenyans, if could have literally been part of what we're seeing today, or this is just another deal, and that's another deal of its own, because they can't even live with the Palestinians. They can't even live with the people neighboring, literally around them. Why should we bring them in our country? History
across
repeats itself.
Kenya are outraged.
Africa is getting recolonized. That's a fact.
Is Kenya losing land to Israel? Colonial Israel is getting ready to enter the fray.
The developer says he wants Israelis to come to Kenya and create an agricultural community with Kenyans.
We want to bring the dream of a community between.
You've not brought it.
He's not doing that now. Exactly. Now remember, these people are racist as fuck. They set up a damn apartheid state, right, in Palestine. Women stole them, people bought a lot of men. Stole their land, start killing them. Remember, these people, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put this up there. These people supported apartheid in South Africa. You gotta remember, we had a big cat with a hat population in South Africa, living good, living out the life. They make sure black people, listen, this is what they believe, all that fake shit, all the cats like black people, it's all fake. They call us monkeys and subservient morons. So after this job, I want you to go on TikTok. I want you to type in the cat population. You know what I'm talking about. The Jewish population supported apartheid, and they fought on behalf of white people because they, you know, it's like a weird dichotomy because they're not real Jews. They're Khazarians, but they, you know, these. If you're not black, you're not a real Jew. No way. It's just a historical facts. I don't get into all that nonsense. So these people claim your identity, but they hate black people. That's the code thing. That's just a fact. You want to play crazy and stupid, that's on you. But them coming to Kenya now and buying them big things of land, it's going to be war. They know you that. That's why the Kenyans are looking crazy. Why is he coming? They claim they don't like Africa, that they never leave. Why is it? You see that land? He's got prime land right there. I want to build settlements and all that old shit he's talking about. All that damn land he's got. Somebody wants to build settlements and friendship. That's fuck shit. That's a lie. They'll never bring no friend. They want to come in, dominate, and then take over the country. That's what they do. So shout out to you guys realizing that now. Play that video to them. I want you to type in the like search bar, say Israel supported apartheid.
Yeah, just
they didn't want the end. They wanted that slave. Because remember, most of the people that were wealthy in South Africa were Jews. The Oppenheimers, people that own the De Beers, and most of the factories are owned by these motherfuckers. So they push apartheid and slavery heavily. They think everybody forgot about this shit. Oh, we want to be your friends. That's a lie.
Between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager.
How did you identify this land?
I think God brought me here.
But this Kenyan lawyer who wrote about the plan says many in the country feel it dredges up memories of when Kenya was a British colony.
To see new people coming in, buying large tracts of land.
I told that, Joe. I told you guys white people will start coming back into Africa and the joke because Europe is fucked up. Europe is failing. The land's bad. They're going to become impoverished because they don't make anything. So I said it's going to be a new scramble for Africa. I told you guys this 3, 4, 5 years. I said they're coming back heavily because you got the land, you got the best land, you got the minerals. So let's come back and just take it all over again. Just in your face. And that's what he's doing because there's no friendship with these people. We showed you many times, me and you, Joe, how they call you a monkey, say you're supposed to be their slaves. That's openly they say that shit. What they do when the Africans get to Israel? They put them in slavery and tell them they can't even leave the land. Remember you reported on that last year or the year before last? They're not even allowed in the city. They said you niggas can't even leave the land. Don't you leave this damn land and try to go in the city and be a human being. You'll be a slave on our farms and work for us for nothing. You're like, what?
Yep.
And it's all that bullshit. We're coming by friend, all the land to be your friend. We're going to build a city here. You crazy? gonna be war. Go ahead, Joe.
And then the added drama of it being an Israeli person in the midst of the genocide.
Many Kenyans learned about the 520-acre land development project when the Israeli investor was interviewed on a Kenyan TV show. The show normally features Kenyan stories, but this episode featured his pitch to sell residential and vacation homes on land he says will include a school, a mall, infinity pools,
a school, a mall, and a bunch of homes. You know what he said? I thought Africa's fucked up. And people want to, but you better believe that's going to be developed. It's going to be nice as hell. Nice as hell. And I'm going to tell you what they're going to tell you. No niggas in here. Like they got them the place in South Africa with them white-only towns. They're going to say, you can come in if you're going to be a slave, boss. You work our land.
These are no reindeer, literally. A whole mall, a whole school. That's a whole town, literally.
A whole town.
A whole community exists.
Yeah, all that land he built. He said, he's telling you, I'm going to build homes, a mall, schools. Man's going to say no niggas.
Up for grabs. You can have your home here.
You can have it here. This is a piece of dream.
For many, anger stems from where this project is located. The private land in this very region collapsed in 2018. The flooding killed dozens and displaced thousands.
So they stole it. So it was flooding, and they stole the land. How to get flooded? How the dam just break? This not, remember, there are no coincidences. They don't even plan to steal this land. Go ahead, Jim.
But there was radio silence. The next thing that we hear about Solai is the settlement, 520 acres and a foreigner.
Jahira says the controversy around the plan also brought to light a little-known fact about Kenyan history.
In the past, before settling on Palestinian land, one of the options considered was Uganda and Kenya.
It's true. In 1904, the Zionist Congress sent a commission to explore Kenya as an option for Jewish settlement.
Before the British decided to finally pick Palestine.
Today, Kenya actually has strong ties to Israel. The Kenyan government has been one of Israel's closest partners in Africa for decades. Israel has trained the Kenyan army, and Kenyan authorities have used Israeli security.
Kenya's been a puppet state. There's no close ally bullshit. They ain't fixed them. They've been a puppet of Israel. You understand? Israeli through the Rothschild family shot out to Epstein. I told you, Epstein talking about, I'm with the Rothschilds. You can't stop me from doing shit I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck your kids. I'm going to eat them. There ain't shit you're going to do about it. Told you. The Rothschilds through the Israelis, through that fake ass country called Israel controls Africa. They're not no partnership with no fucking Israel. They're controlled by these motherfuckers. Go ahead, Joe.
Technology to spy on activists.
Israel then becomes the face of oppression for Kenyans. We would probably be one of those countries to provide the avenue, together with Somaliland and their recognition, for Israel to establish more bases here. And so it cannot therefore be said that a land ownership can be innocuous when we juxtapose it with all these other actions that we feel Israel is responsible for in the country.
While it may be true that for some, this project is an attractive land development plan, for others, it's raised complicated political questions and brought painful historic legacies back to the surface.
I hate when they do all this fake reporting. No, it's because the Africans have been kept ignorant about their own past, who these people are. It's created good. No, it's showing that they don't know what's going on, and you should not allow their ass in there and say no. We're gonna shut it down. And if they do start building it, we start building homes already. You're gonna burn that shit out, burn it down to the motherfucking ground. Okay, we're gonna build malls and homes. You said Africa's fucked up because it's not. They got most black Americans. Hey, Joe, remember it's been 2 years. Remember 2 years ago? I had that guy talking to you, and he was surprised you lived in an apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? She's living in an apartment? Yeah, like what? That's how fucked up the African American mind is. The African. I thought they live in huts and walk around naked. What are you talking about? Well, that's how bad it is, the propaganda. I told you I was propagandized too, so I went 30 years. What? What's going on? Where the jungle's at?
Yeah, these are the videos of Israel, how they participated in apartheid.
Apartheid. Yeah, good. Exactly. Openly.
The Israeli flags, and some of them are chanting, "We are taking back our country," as in South Africa, as a country who is almost 32 years into a democracy from the same apartheid system replicating itself in Gaza. It's incredibly sad and embarrassing to see South Africans protest for apartheid Israel, which is supporting Zionism.
Yeah, if find somebody else, the English is terrible. And remember, so now remember, they're flooding back into South Africa now, and they're gonna flood into Kenya now. So they've already started flooding during this war. They've been flooding back into South Africa like nobody's business. Now, so they already put up a wall, a fence, saying white people on this side and black people in Africa. White people here and black people there. You supposed to burn that shit down to the ground. Take your fuck ass back to Europe with that shit. Go ahead, Joe. That's the propaganda they put on everywhere. The Africans fucked up while they're still in land. Then you go Africa and say, damn, this place nice as shit. What the hell? You know, remember I told you guys about John's wife back in the day when John's wife said, I'm not going to Africa. Remember she said, they don't have toilets or street lights. Like what? That lady told me, they don't got toilets or street lights over there. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
What was that? Some reading on how Is Not Real was supporting the apartheid South African government.
Yeah, It's Not Real.
Exchange resources and personnel.
Exactly.
And things when you have some time.
See,
then
so you see South African brother tell you how It's Not Real. You can't even say their real name because they own and control everything to the Rothschilds. He said you see how It's Not Real supported apartheid and stole wealth out of South Africa. Of course, the diamonds, the gold, the coal, stealing left, right, and center. These are facts. They ain't talking about now they're going to come into Kenya. We're building a big settlement and be your friends. You know that's a goddamn lie. They never been nobody's friends everywhere they go. Go ahead, Joe. Let's see what he's saying.
Sometime look up the name of that school and look at how they actively promote Zionism and how they are proud of the fact that they recruit students.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he was telling the truth. They can be somebody's friend. They push the part. Go to the Jewish areas in South Africa. Man, they're fucking gorgeous. They tell black people, it's for the jungles. It's the best architecture you ever seen in your goddamn life. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Military, but this school actively promotes this crime, and somehow they are still allowed to be registered with the Department of Basic Education. I don't know how that's possible. I know how it's possible. We all know how it's possible. But this school literally commits crimes on a regular basis by actively recruiting people to join the IOF. Not people, children. Children that they indoctrinate with Zionist propaganda on the same land that the state of Is Not Real had colluded with the apartheid state of South Africa to oppress both South Africans and Palestinians. They are running around with that flag. The Is Not Real flag has the same level of offensiveness and racism and oppression in it as the apartheid flag, because those are the two flags of two of the countries who actively worked to keep apartheid going and to support each other in the oppression of South Africa and Palestinians. So when you
I apologize, Joe. See, don't you think that should have been taught in Kenya? You think what he's saying should have been taught? They work actively together to keep African people suppressed and oppressed, to keep them fucked up and enslaved. Shouldn't that have been taught? Oh, I'm not bad here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
sometime do some reading on that. And that's why when people say like, we can't worry about what's happening in Palestine, we must worry about what's happening here. They are friends and they have been sharing.
I'm really scared for the people of Nakuru because I don't know the level of literacy there, because from that side going all the way to the western parts of Kenya, Kisumu, whatever, most of the people are not educated well. So
exactly,
most of them probably don't even know what they're dealing with. They think this is
they
just
don't know.
this is just another Karen, another Parklands where we have the Indians or the Wazungu.
Exactly. Yeah, another Karen in that part of Nairobi. We got mostly all white people. They don't understand what's going on. Exactly. That's the purpose of keeping you uneducated. Exactly.
It's really, really shocking I'd say for me, understanding what's happening. I don't even have words to express
The
how
words
I
explain.
feel.
The anger.
Maybe where this puts Kenya, in terms of just any possible war, any possible, the population of some certain communities or people, it's not gonna be looking nice at all. I'm just rude. God damn, I can't fathom this at all. Like, I don't know what to think. It's crazy.
Information and resources to keep the oppression of indigenous people going in both those respective lands. So it's not as simple as we must worry about what's happening here, we can't worry about what's happening there, when these two countries are actively working together in the oppression of indigenous people. Anyway, when you have some time, look it up, do some reading, and I'm sure you'll also be confused as to why this school that is actively indoctrinating kids to commit not just crimes here locally, but crimes in another country.
How is this?
I'm gonna talk about the direct link.
This is even a law. How is this even a law that just another country can come and settle here and start? We can't do that as Africans. Those are the things we need to look at. I can't wake up one day, I want to go to India and start a whole town or community with a mall, a school.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. You can't go to India and tell me you're going to build an African town. Exactly, Joe. You can't go to China or India, tell me you're going to buy up that much land and start building an African town up in India or China. Wait, this goddamn Zionist Jews coming back in Africa. I'm going to build this whole town right. And they say African people are monkeys. That's what they say. Yeah, but the land, Africa's great. We want it. And we want you to be our slaves. And I want you to look this up, Joe. We say, in their Torah, in their goofy fake Bible, say, and that's what a lot of black Americans were kept ignorant too. They don't know most of the slave owners that own the ships, that own the plantations, that sold you into slavery were all Jays, all Jewish. They don't ever know that fact. So, what is up, Joe? Say Jewish religion looks at all non-Jews as Goya, as beasts of burdens, and are supposed to be slaves. You're not going to be their slaves. You're supposed to be killed. See, no one knows it because they got control of the planet through their fake bank. They control all the banks.
Pardon it again, Jewish religion.
Through the Jewish Talmud system, it says that all people, especially Africans, they say all people are supposed to be their slaves and are called Goyim, Goyem, Goyim, which means beast. They call us all beasts. But the African, the black person, is supposed to be on the bottom slave and eventually eliminated. This is their teaching. This is real. It's not me making this up. This is real. They're in their Talmud. That's why they openly in Israel call you monkey. You Googled it.
On Google, right?
No, I just go to TikTok. They got some videos. They openly call you monkey. They got control of the planet. What do you think about, like you said, when you ask, why is everybody got to go to that wall like Barack Obama and George Bush and Trump got to go to that wall and put on a hat? Because that's them saying, yeah, we'll do what you tell us. We're going to do what you tell us to do, master. Everybody all got to go to that wall and put their head against that shit. Because that's the ones who control the world through their banking system. Those are motherfuckers that run around eating the babies, fucking them and shit. That you're not supposed to know about.
Interview from Netanyahu where he literally said
we transported African migrants right into Israel, but not to enslave them, liberate them.
We let in, mind you, immigrants from Africa, Ethiopian Jews who come into this country. I think it's the first time that we have actually transported Black Africans from Africa, not to enslave them, but in fact to liberate them.
It's very
To
strange.
liberate. See, exactly, pause it. See, exactly. See, when they say liberate, say, well, this white lady, Lord to the truth, said we came to liberate them because to liberate you African is to enslave you. You're supposed to be a slave. That's in their doctrine. That's not me make. That's why you're not supposed to know. In their doctrine, your liberation is to be their slave. I told you, the majority of slave owners in America, Brazil, Jamaica, were these same motherfucking people. Go ahead, Joe.
You were planning to secretly enslave them. So let's actually take a look at Israel's historically poor treatment of African migrants.
Exactly. So there's a white lady telling you that their plan was to slave your ass. Not me. It's a white woman. Go ahead, Joe.
We live under a very xenophobic lens in the state of Israel. They are considered infiltrators into larger Jewish society. And governmental policies make life unbearable for migrants within Israel. They intentionally make life difficult in order to coerce migrants to leave voluntarily. They want them to self-deport. Asylum seekers are denied access to public health insurance and are largely excluded from the national welfare system. Social services and benefits are also not available to asylum seekers, leaving many in precarious economic and health
But
situations.
remember, Joe, they're your friends. They're your friends. They want to be your friends. You know, they treat you like, they treat you like shit and put you in slavery in Israel. But they want to be your friends. Go ahead.
Also, decades of allegations of unwanted medical procedures on African migrants, most notably the sterilization of
I was just about to say that, Judge. About to say they also sterilize African women. They make sure you can't reproduce yourself. So they also sneakily, that white lady knows, they sterilize your ass. It's wicked. Go ahead.
These Ethiopian women are also Jewish, but they were told they were the wrong color. There's also an incredibly low refugee recognition rate and no clear or fair path to legal status. This prolonged uncertainty leads many unable to secure stable jobs or health care. There's also a policy of indefinite detention for migrants who enter Israel irregularly, again, as an attempt to coerce them to leave. Many African migrants are detained in remote desert facilities under the same laws that permit indefinite detention of Palestinians. They're held in incredibly crowded cells with limited access to proper food and water, medical care, limited access to legal counsel. There are also voluntary transfer programs that arrange deportations or travel to countries that are considered third world countries or countries embroiled in war.
Exactly, get them out of here.
Rwanda, Sudan, Eritrea, countries where if they are sent back, they are subjected to arbitrary detention or violence or even torture because of the way that they left their country. Human rights groups describe these programs as forced or illegal because migrants really have no choice. They are forced into making these decisions. A former Israeli official was quoted as saying that these programs exist to make their lives miserable in order to force them to leave the country. Without refugee status,
So the guy Israeli official honestly told you they're supposed to be miserable. We're gonna make their life miserable, but they're your friends. Go ahead, Joe.
Term security, many felt that the risk of staying in Israel was equal to the risk of making the perilous journey back to their home countries. Many had friends or relatives who died on these routes on their way to Israel or died in detention on the way, and they still felt that the risk of staying in Israel was equal to the risk of making the journey back. So excuse me if I'm side-eyeing Netanyahu's comments about transporting African migrants.
So what Joe was saying that you're not telling your enemies off, and that's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Nature of the Jewish involvement in the African slave trade. The Jewish involvement in the African slave trade.
Now I want you to listen. He's saying about the Jews controlled the slaves. Yeah, that's a fact. This guy's telling you. This is the history I want you to know. Most of the plantations down in America and the South were controlled, owned by the Jews. Most of them in Jamaica and the islands controlled by the Jews. Most of the ones in Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, controlled by the Jews. They own the ships, they own the plantations. These are facts. You know, when they give that fake history about Christopher Columbus, I've already proven that to you guys years ago. His name was no fucking Columbus. His name was Cristobal Colon. He was a cat with a hat. He was a Jew. Spain was kicking his ass out of there. That's how the slave trade started. He wasn't no discoverer and all this fake history they give you. Cristobal Colon was not Italian. He was a Jew from northern fucking, what they call the Boston region of Spain. That's known. Cristobal Colon, but ain't his name. Get out of that stupid shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Begins, as far as I can tell, long before the actual slave trade across the Atlantic itself.
Yep.
Transatlantic slave trade has its immediate origin around about 1441, when Portuguese sailors landed on the West African coast and kidnapped a few Africans, brought them back to Europe. So it seems to me that Jewish involvement then in that transatlantic slave trade precedes by many, many years, perhaps by 1,000 years, the actual beginnings of the transatlantic slave trade.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that as well, because we're talking about the trans-Saharan slave trade with the Arabs. Guess who was in charge of that too? Oh, the same motherfuckers. But 1,000 years before, you got the transatlantic slave trade going this way. You had the sub-Saharan slave trade going to Iran, Iraq, India. What do you think was in control of that? You guess. You figure it out. Guess. Go ahead, Joe. That's what he's telling us.
The ships were not only owned by Jews, but were manned by Jewish crews and sailed under the command of Jewish captains. Let's see what the rabbi has to say about it. Jewish merchants played a major role in slave trade. In fact, in all American colonies, whether French, British, or Dutch, Jewish merchants frequently dominated. Let's see what this Jewish doctor has to say about it. The Jews of Suriname were also foremost in the suppression of the successive black revolts from 1690 to 1722. So
he's telling you, no matter what colony they were, controlled by the British, the French, the Dutch, whatever slavery they came in, he's letting you know, whenever black people try to revolt, the Jews would put it down because they believe we're supposed to be enslaved, and they make billions of dollars off our enslavement. It's been going on for years, but it's not in none of your regular books. You're not supposed to know this. Go ahead, Joe.
Act were largely directed against them as being the greatest slaveholders of the region. Because we got to wake up, man. We've been lied to on every level. They try to pin us against one another when they're the actual enemy. Again, friends, Jesus says what? Know them by their fruits. Doesn't matter your skin color, where you were born, any of that, friends. It's a matter of who you serve. Again, we choose to serve the Lord Jesus. They do not. They think he's burdened.
Okay, black people are supposed to be slaves. Black people are supposed to be inferior, and they pointed out to the curse of Ham. Now, it happens to be that Jewish law permits the enslavement of any non-Jew, white or black. That's another question which got raised, but that has nothing to do with racism. That's just a heter that we are allowed to enslave.
You see, now this is a Jew telling you about their doctrine, that they're supposed to enslave everybody. He's been honest. You're not supposed to know that. They control all your media, all your CNNs, your MSNBCs, your NBCs, your ABCs. They own all of it. But they don't tell you the doctrine that says in their doctrine, you're supposed to be their slave. That's a fact. And this is the Jewish guy telling you. He's saying, yeah, matter of fact, you're supposed to be my damn slave. Go ahead, Joe.
Perhaps to bring them to mitzvahs, bring them to Torah and the like, but it's not a black thing for sure.
And you can talk about the Holocaust, but the Jews own everything. I thank God for slavery.
On everything.
I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree.
Let me get this straight. Out of all the nations, you mean to tell me that Africans were the ones that got enslaved to disobey God? Like, Nobody else disobeyed, not the colonizers, not the crusaders, not the ones who genocide entire nations in the name of Jesus. But just us. So wait, no, for real. You mean Africans who had entire civilizations, languages, spiritual systems, astronomy, medicine were enslaved for disobedience. Meanwhile, Europeans were conquering land and burning people alive, and they still got to call themselves the chosen. The same church that co-signed slavery is the same church you're using to justify it now. They blessed slave ships and ordained the destruction of cultures and called it divine will. That's not God. That's literally propaganda. What y'all call punishment, I call programming, because that narrative was crafted to make us think that our suffering was earned, so you wouldn't fight and you just accept it. That's literally psychological and spiritual warfare, bro. You're not worshiping justice. You're worshiping a colonized lens that made you think that our ancestors were the villain. Wait.
Exactly. Like Joby thought. Joby thought our ancestors were the villains. Exactly. That propaganda is real. The educational system is real. What do you say, Joby?
That was back then. Clarify that. That was back then.
Okay, that's back then. That's 5 years ago. Calm down.
Exactly. That's not today. Today, I know my people.
We know it's not today. I said back then. I said 5 years ago. Calm down.
But yeah, literally, the African leaders have contributed so much into this because these are the same people again who have refused to change the system.
Education system, yeah. True.
Bare minimal of truth for us to understand, even the bare minimal of truth of the enemy. They have kept the system the same way the white people left it, and this is why we are literally. I wonder actually even why South Africans are accepting this to happen. The fact that you already have Orania.
Yeah, Orania is still there. Yeah, it's another one. It's not just one Orania. It's not just one white town in the South. It's another. I'm gonna name Orania. And supposedly black people were killing white people. Now you got all white towns in South Africa. All the lies. You're dealing with people that are psychopaths. You're dealing with psychopathic behavior.
This is so crazy. This is so crazy. So I'm gonna share a couple of videos before we get to wind up before the next show of African leaders and how we know they choose again only not just old again, who old people are going to keep the system running the old way, because the new generation, especially our generation, my generation, the people don't want to know nonsense. How are you 80, 90 and you're still coming back in power? What are you coming back to? You need to go back to the village and retire. That's what we know. Once you're old, go back to the village and retire. Stop disturbing. Let the young people work and build the city and the town. But these people literally are the ones who are chosen over and over again. Tell me how this ugly, bleaching ass person is back as a president in the Republic of Congo, because this guy is literally bleaching. You can't tell me.
The funny part about you never really hear nothing about the Republic of Congo. You hear about the DRC, but never about their smaller cousin. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of South African white people who moved to the Republic of Congo. Everything's always secret with these people, right? So a bunch of them moved. Why don't they go back to Europe? Why don't they go to Europe? Because that's always a scam. It's a lie. They won't go back to fucking Europe. They want to be in Africa so they can get land and oppress it. They want you as their slaves. That's the scam.
Exactly. So we're gonna, I think, look at the Republic of Congo tomorrow, because I love going back into the history of these presidents, especially the ones who come back as leaders. Check their files. What do they do? What do they do? And of course, bet they were
he's a French puppet. Yeah, he's a French puppet.
That's why they're picked again, because you served well as a puppet back then, so you can think about the job despite you being old and you can't even critically think. So that is happening, and the same thing continues. It's been like
his bleaching is crazy.
It's been a culture.
Or somebody interested in African affairs, please stop calling. There's a huge corruption. A lot of African leaders are so corrupt that they would choose their power over their country, and such views make it harder for African countries to grow and prosper. I believe 99% of African problems are rooted in corruption. If we would choose better leaders that are better equipped for our countries, African countries would be in a different position right now. Corruption should be the main concern in Africa right now, as most of the problems in African countries are rooted in that. And so we as Africans need to be more wary of that. So thank you for watching. Please share this and follow.
African leaders throw the javelin so far into the future, they're not going to be alive to be held accountable for that javelin.
So you're a president today and you throw forward.
Crazy, exactly. That's even the saddest part. We suffer the consequences of leaders who are already even gone, to the point where no one is supposed to be held accountable when it comes to accountability. I mean, yes, for the Kenyattas, we still have a generation we can hold accountable. For the Kibaki, I think the Kibaki, Moi, none of those people actually are the top politicians even. Their sons, their wives are nowhere to be seen. So the president himself, it's crazy. They sign deals that are going to leave us on a very crazy system that we're not going to call them out. So we need to think again and think.
2060. How are we going to know? In 2022, how about 2025? In Dubai, they have Vision 2025, not Vision 2060. It's now. It's happening now. So the first is a lack of accountability, because we throw our plans so far into the future, we'll never...
Exactly. It's a lack of accountability.
In Africa. That's it. Our only problem we have is our leaders. Is the old man who sits at the throne, who doesn't want to leave, who only thinks about making generational wealth for himself. I'm so sorry. I think you guys need to go. That's our problem.
Change is going to cost a lot.
They're not even making generational wealth for themselves. Like I've said, if I look at the history of Moi, the Kibakis, these people actually, most of the things they even left under their name, Ruto is taking all that away. So meaning he's taking everything away from the family of the previous president, literally. The hospitals, the roads, everything.
They ain't taking away from the Kenyatas. They ain't taking away from the Kenyatas.
Yeah, of course. The Kenyatas, no, he can't do that. He can't touch that. But
Relationships. Gonna have to. Things have to change for things to change. And do you want to become part of it, or and Tala, we want to lead it?
We want to lead it.
We want to stimulate conversations.
no, we don't want you leading us. You're the problem. You're the problem. You are the problem. Why people are the problem, trying to give us solutions about our very own problems. You go handle Trump.
Yeah, it's always the dialectic, yo. It's always as a young lady got it right. It's always the dialectic that they're playing against you. It's going to be census, antithesis, and consensus. So most people don't understand the dialectic. Thesis, antithesis, and consensus. It's always dialectic. Go ahead.
Yeah, but on the last video, literally to explain even further of the old, always just never want to leave, and now they want to take and create generational wealth. Ruto has become a pro on taking things that belongs to Kenyan. I think it was on Tuesday, we were discussing on the reaction time of how many companies Ruto has taken currently right now, and you're talking about like over 15 or even more companies. So I'm going to let this lady explain, which actually has become a norm. So this man has the attention. He knows Kenyans are talking shit about him. He knows Kenyans don't want him back on the street, but he's also paying attention to what Kenyans and the ideas they're giving when it comes to businesses, things that he can create to make money. So Ruto is taking all these ideas, but for himself, not for Kenyans. So if you have a business idea or your business is booming and making lots of money, Ruto comes with these people. They tell you, change the board, write these people, and if you're not going to do that, we're going to arrest you. That has happened recently on one of the biggest private hospitals called Nairobi Hospitals. That's actually where my mom did the cancer screening and all.
Oh, wait. He's still in the hospital?
He has taken it, it's under his name, literally right now. Under his people. Let me just say that. Under his people. Not only the hospital, he's building currently, we've had hotels in different parts of Nairobi, Mombasa. He's chopping down trees to build hotels, literally in those forests, literally chopping down trees in the name of creating hotels. He's taken away. The list is big. A certain bank in the name of private shareholders and all that. Hotels.
Well, yes. He's positioned himself as a robber baron. Of course, you're going to do a Mombasa. Mombasa is a tourist area. You guys got a lot of white people that come to Mombasa that just have a great time. Of course, that's why you got some of the best hospitals, some of the best hotels and resorts in the world over in Mombasa. Go ahead, Joe.
Pace with a very sick. So, guys,
As long as Kasongo remains in power, you have to make peace with a very sickening realization that if you run a business that is profitable enough to attract the president's attention, he is coming for it. And there is nothing you can do. Look at what is happening now with the Nairobi hospital. Kasongo knows this is a hospital that makes between about 1.5 billion every month. And he's saying, I want it. And I want it by force. And if you're not going to give me, I am going to use the state instruments.
In the hospital, in the hospital also got mostly, the one in Kenya, in the hospital got mostly Indian doctors?
No, Nairobi hospitals, Nairobi hospital is not for the Indian. Aga Khan is the one for the Indian. Aga Khan hospital is the one which is for the Indians. Yeah.
To get it. I have never seen this level of greed.
Now it's one of the best private hospitals. I'd say quite affordable for majority of the Kenyans. Quite affordable. Depends also on what treatments you're getting, but it's one of the best and long-lasting and working hospitals in the 254. So it makes a lot of money.
Embodied by one person, that an institution can survive economic crashes, colonialism, and some of the worst regimes. But then Kasongo becomes one of the worst and takes it. Be very careful in Kasongo's second term, because right now he is selling every major profitable asset in Kenya. Safaricom is gone, Kenya Pipeline is gone.
It was done in 2023, 2020. Yeah, early 2023, 2022 late.
All nation media and all this really creme de la creme companies in Kenya. What do you think he's coming for next? Once ameshaokota zote ni zake. He's coming for private businesses that are doing well. So as an individual, if you're running a very successful company that is making good profits, be very careful, because Kasongo will come and grab it and he will take it by force. And that is what makes this guy a mafia and very lethal. Another thing, if you have a beautiful wife and you walk around Kasongo, be careful. Because clearly this person has no boundaries. He will even come for your wife and come for your children. This is the kind of person we are dealing with. This is a dangerous person that should not be given a second chance. Because he doesn't care whether you're poor. He doesn't care whether you belong to...
I pity this Kenya. I pity our country. We're going towards election. It's about to be really, really bad. We're really going towards election. And Israel being present in Kenya, and we have the RSF being given citizenship. We have the Somali border being opened without any major discussions about security. I'm scared. I'm scared of this country, where we're really going at this particular point. I hate the fact that I have to be part of this time to witness this, but it's happening. It's the reality. That's just the truth. I just pity Kenya, where we're really going. We're going towards election. It's already very chaotic, more than the way actually I report it. It's very chaotic on the ground. Politicians are already causing tribal wars on the ground. People are getting beaten also on the ground for saying two-term. If you're supporting Ruto at this point, you're not safe. You're not safe at all. So it's really, I don't know, 2027 is going to be super, super bad. I'm not going to be here. I'll ensure I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be here. I'll be reporting from far away, not here. It's going to be very bad. It's going to be very, very messy. But as we wind up, shout to Jiba Jaba, thank you for joining once again. Earlier you're saying that they are building a kibbutz with Kenyan slaves. I don't know what a kibbutz is, but
a kibbutz.
Go on, Keith. What's a kibbutz? I don't know what a kibbutz is. I have to Google that.
A kibbutz is like a slave. It's like a commune, Joe. Lisa. It's like a slavery commune that the Jews put you in. It's got a caboose.
And
It's like a plantation. You do all the work and they don't do shit. It's a fancy name for a plantation. A caboose.
I don't know if they're gonna have peace also by just settling here. It's not gonna be that easy.
You're not gonna have a peace because you're not the same. The Africans are waking up. It's not gonna be. You're not gonna be able to come in and start taking land the way you're doing it, building that shit. Because the racism, their overt racism is gonna come out. It's overt. It's overt with them. It's not. They don't hide it. It's overt. You see the guy you showed up to down the rabbi guy. So yeah, they're supposed to be our slaves. And they're the ones wrote the doctrine. And black Americans didn't want to be the slaves, that we were crazy. They said we were mentally, go look this up. They said that black people didn't want to be the slaves in America, that we had a mental problem. That we were mentally fucked up, and we didn't want to be the slaves. I forgot the name of that shit.
I also see Jibba Jabba also was saying earlier they will have a distinct voting bloc while you all are fusing over tribes. I know it's crazy. And also says
exactly.
Are there any Kenyan lawmakers that think like you, Joby, and get things done? And our friends who are lawmakers, they can't dare say anything still, because it's the same system. I mean, they're paid by the same system. I don't think we have actually maybe just one. The only guy who understands what's happening is just one, and he's a politician too. So he's not to be trusted either. That's the only, I'd say, the serious lawyer we have in Kenya. Sifuna, literally. That's the only one who is, when it comes to auditing of people who are not working, the governors, the MCAs, he's the one. But personally, do I trust him? No. I still don't trust him. I believe they're still the same people. So, no. I'd be lying if I tell you that we do have people who can change things. But I also see Abdallah says that the Talmud are not the Torah. Okay, shout out to you.
I said that. I corrected myself. I said the Talmud. That's why I reversed it. I said the Torah first. My mistake. And I said the Talmud. Exactly. You're right. My apologies. Yeah, not the Torah, but the Talmud. The Torah, what you're talking about, Torah is really what we call the Septuagint. That's when they created that fake religion for the Greeks when they came in to Kemet. So the Torah is really the Septuagint.
Jibba says when they rock at the Wailing Wall.
Yeah, the Wailing Wall. All leaders got to go do that shit. We have homage to the cats that run this planet.
And Jib also says, and stupid black has organized trips to the Holy Land. Even
we do. We do. I told you I went to the Holy Land because of my ex-wife. Wanted to go to that shit. The first thing I got to the plane, they called me a nigga. What? Hey, what you doing here, nigga? They call you nigga in Israel? I had to go to that fake shit because of my goddamn ex-wife. Let's go to the Holy Land. What? What I want to go there for? As soon as I got on the plane, what are you doing here, nigga? What? I looked at her ass. I said, so I'm a nigga here in the Holy Land? How holy is this fuck shit? Stupid ass got me here. Wasting my money.
Evan, use that title for the book you will write. And I also see he has that's how the mafia works. They invest in a company and slowly replaces everyone with a fellow mafiosi. I think mafioist, that should sound better, I don't know. And they say is there a primarily white hospital in Nairobi that blacks cannot go to? Only Aga Khan. Aga Khan is expensive. That's Indian. That's the Indian hospital. That is I think the most expensive hospital we have in Kenya. Aga Khan, nah. Aga Khan is just for the Indians. Do we have Karen, we have affordable hospitals. I don't think we have a white-only hospital. I don't think we've gotten there. We are in South Africa yet.
No. They don't got a white-only hospital in Kenya, but they got a hospital with where the whites go though. That's what I'm saying.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
The whites go to all the nice hospitals in Kenya. Where that lady, you know that lady that came to the studio job, that Tavares lady that moved from America to Kenya. That lady.
Yeah.
She's the one be showing those hospitals to all the new Black Americans that's moving over. Like, look at the great hospitals in Kenya. When you come, everything is all nice, just like America. Yeah.
The best we have is the one I've mentioned, Nairobi Hospital. That's why.
Nairobi. Yeah, Nairobi Hospital. I knew that was the one. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, Nairobi Hospital, and
that's the best hospital in Aga Khan. If you can get to the Indian price, then good for you. But who wants to go to be treated by Indians anyway? And maybe Karen. Karen, we have some hospitals. You won't lack.
I was saying Karen. Because Karen, you got a lot of white people over that part of Kenya, of Nairobi. Over Karen, you're gonna have good hospitals because of white people there. Yeah. That other hospital gonna be good. I'm just gonna keep it real. When you got white people, you're gonna have a good hospital.
You're gonna have good life and a good environment, trees.
Yeah, good environment. Exactly. Remember, you guys forget. Remember, the wicked ass UN is building a whole community in Nairobi. I forgot what it said. The more we're showing them houses nice as hell, manicured lawns. I'm like, God damn. You have black people out there cutting the grass and shit.
As we wind up, I also see John Mosquito, Karibu. I hope you're doing amazing today. Saying being called a nigger on the Holy Land is crazy. I know.
Being called a nigger on the Holy Land is crazy. As soon as I got the plan, they looked at me. Hey, nigga. And I'm a light-skinned Negro. Hey, nigga, what are you doing here? I was all shocked. I'm like, I didn't know that. I shouldn't have been shocked. I know the word nigga is worldwide. I was just shocked. I was like, I looked at my damn ex. I was like, the Holy Land, huh? I'm holy. It's the Holy Land. I'm being called a nigga. What kind of Holy Land is this? Always want to make me spend my money on stupid shit.
Jesus Christ!
I could have went to Jamaica and been shaking my ass or something. But I'm at the Holy Land called a nigga.
You'd rather have an Indian doctor than a white doctor. That's crazy. I'd rather have none. I don't know. It would just feel weird. I've never been that too close with a white person, nor the Indians. So no, it would just feel weird. I've never been that too close. Even when we were in Tanzania, like we were avoiding contact with these people because their behavior, number one, was so weird.
Exactly. So they're racist. Exactly. So remember, Joby and Katie, this is 4 or 5 years ago. So I rented in my house before we had bought the other house in Tanzania. Right? And Joby showed you guys the house we had bought, right? So when I bought that house, I had to do an Airbnb. And of course, a white man owned it on the beach, nice, right? But I told them, watch and see how these white people treat you in Africa. And so when they got there, this white man tried to talk crazy to them, and had all these Germans out there wanted to look at their ass and sexually assault them.
He went on mute. Yeah, so he was telling us to cook outside. We're being bitten by mosquitoes. He's telling us we can't use the cooking oil that is there. We gotta buy ours and all that.
He wanted to see, but see, they wanted to abuse. Remember, see, they're in Africa. That man had a big, nice home in Africa. That white man, and he wanted to be able to abuse you. See, I told you, understand the mind of these psych. They get joy in abusing us as black people. They get joy in that shit.
Yeah. So
they get joy in it. So I told Job and Kate, don't allow especially nobody white to disrespect you. They called me and they were giving him the business. He's like, these girls must have lived in America. They're not regular Africans where I just run all over their
it was great. It was super crazy.
I know.
Yeah, much love, family. Thank you so much for taking the time. In the morning, kindly hit that like button as you leave. Subscribe in case you're here for the first time. And catch us after we're coming back with the reaction time. We get to react to videos, funny political, entertainment, depends what's on the table. So karibuni and join us and let's have a good laugh together. And of course, have yourself some beautiful rest part of your morning in case you're not gonna make it. And see you tonight on the Culture Show. That should be midday your time as you have your lunch, whatever you're gonna be doing. Get to listen to some reggae music, baby.
Oh shit! Here we go. Hey, Joe, you guys live? You guys live on the radio? I didn't even check.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.